We got a Patreon.
Patreon.com/CU podcast. You go, you spend a little bit of money on supporting us, and you get stuff in return, like the full video podcast. We do bonus bits before we record every episode, so you can get some bonus Pat and Ian time.
Van Damme this week.
We do hangouts every month. Just did one this past week. I do writings about once a week.
You just did one about the Bills.
Just did one about the Bills. Go Bills!
We have a pin club.
Pin club.
Get an animal pin.
And you can partake in these poll topics.
All right. We have a better split this week. We have a 60-40 split. In second place, that plucky choice is grading or reselling. Worse for video game collecting, 40%. Then in first place, console lot on eBay for $1 million? Huh? So this was reported on Kotaku about a week and a half ago, but it's significant. We used to talk about these more often, but I haven't seen one this large like this in a while.
So normally I would totally skip over these. I kind of fucking hate these. Someone puts up a huge video game collection for sale because honestly, they always look like they're shooting for the moon, and it's not nearly worth as much as they're asking. I can't tell you one way or another whether, I mean, it would take me a long time to price this out, whether this is worth the 1 million. However, this is an impressive collection.
Well, what is it, Ian?
And it's not just video. It's not really focused on the games themselves. It is focused entirely on consoles and their variants.
2,200 different, looks like boxed consoles.
And I honestly feel like it's more than that. But yeah, no, that's probably right. So
that's what it says on the eBay listing.
Okay, so you can go through, the pictures and see everything he's got. He's got all the Turbo Express stuff. He looks like he's got every variation of the DS, the 3DS. He's got all the PC Engine stuff. He's got every GameCube system complete in the box. And then an interesting one to me that he shows, he's got all the Famicom stuff, is, where was it? He also has all the Xbox variants, 360 variants. Mm-hmm. What's interesting to me on that is how he chose to display them, because these are not boxed complete ones. I'm sure he probably has the box and the complete stuff, but he pulled the units out of their boxes to display on shelves because they all usually have like different art and stuff on
It does
them.
say that it's not 100% boxed. 99% are boxed according to you. Have the eBay in front of you. It says 90,
I do.
90% of consoles are boxed. There are many new consoles. There are hundreds of games as well. I put it through Google Translate here. Hello. After 25 years of research, I finally decided to offer for sale my entire collection, which I think is certainly the largest collection of consoles that exists.
Holy fuck.
It might be.
He breaks it down. I mean, the list is insane for colors and it's fucking wild.
Yeah, I don't think this is not every single console that has ever existed, but it's a vast majority of them.
Yeah.
I don't think this is like everything from like the 70s in particular, probably early 80s. I don't think. Because like if that's the case, I'd have to see like all the Atari 2600 variants, which there's like probably 7 or 8 or 9 if you include telegames. But this, once you get to the 80s though, I think solidly into the 80s, I think that's just where this takes off, this collection.
He's got so many promo ones too that weren't like ever for sale, like they had to be contest winners and stuff like that.
Oh, what are they asking? I don't think we mentioned that. 900 and
we mentioned million. I think I mentioned a million.
Well, 984,000 100,000 euros, right? Pat math about $1 million. We'll just say, about that. So that's what's being asked. I think it's funny. You can immediately purchase it. It's immediately purchase. Add to cart. There's no best offer. Obviously, when you do things like this, people can contact you privately. Someone's going to know who this person is.
It brings in eyes.
Sure. I do not sell anything separately. Please respect and do not insist. For my Google Translate, I do not know any French. They think it's the largest console that exists. I have in my possession 50 years of consoles from the first to the very last. Oh, so they claim they have all of them. Okay, they have the Odyssey, the original Manifest Odyssey. I didn't see it on the list. Man, I have to read the list differently. I mean, that's part of other. There's like an other. Got it. The goal is to bring together all the models, all the colors, the versions, the commercial limited editions, the limited editions under reservation, the editions that can only be won in the form of a contest. The advertisers, the packs, the bundles, European/Japan/USA editions. All these consoles are accompanied by what's PVL mean? PVL, signs, statues, terminals, accessories, a few hundred games for all consoles combined. So you get a few hundred games in total. And then there's the list. And then there's photos on the Instagram account you can see as well. So that's like I said. So I'm in no position, I will say, to say whether or not this is outrageous or not. I'm not.
Whether the pricing is outrageous or not, this is definitely one of the more impressive collections I've seen, and that's why I wanted to talk. About it.
I gotta do the pat math. What is that per? I want to make sure I have that right here. So we'll just say $1 million.
Yeah, divided by 2,200.
Okay,
that's obviously the easiest way to do it.
22. $454 a console. The games will take out $450 a console. That might not be outrageous.
I mean,
when you take into account some of these super limited ones,
them, right?
You're gonna say, yeah, Pat, like a Sega Genesis variant's only $80 maybe, or $100, or maybe that NES action set's only $100 or $150, $120. Then I'm thinking though, yeah, but then you got the Pokemon N64 now is probably several $100s at least, alone, like, or $1,000. You know what I mean? Then you have, a Turbo Duo, which is like probably over $1,500 in the box. The Turbo Graphic CD is probably $1,000 in the box behind me. So you can quickly think about all the ones that are several $100s retail or $1,000. I have an APF MP1000, super hard to find in the box. That's several $100s. Even crappy ones like a Fairchild Channel F, those are probably a couple $100, 200. So like in my head, I can find a lot more at $450 or above versus ones that are dramatically lower. The deluxe NES one, I think he had not the test mark one, but the deluxe one, that's probably complete $400 or $500. So it's not outrageous on its surface. I think I really would have to dig into this and see.
Just one last thing I want to bring up about it because I found it interesting. The story behind it was that this was a person who was collecting before collecting might have been considered a thing. And then they stopped collecting in the 2000s. Well, so they sold their entire collection at the turn of the century. Then they kept collecting a little bit during the 2000s, but not a lot. And it came to an end in 2011 when they stopped for lack of time and the difficulty in finding rare items.
Okay.
However, in 2018, this is the big one. 2018, they fell back into the trap of collecting after visiting Tokyo, where they acquired almost everything they sold off previously. So what I want to bring up is the majority of this was done between 2018 and 2022. That's a lot of purchasing in 4 years.
They said the current collection dates, this is what's confusing. And the eBay says the current collection dates back from the early 2000s. I bought a lot in the period 2010.
Oh, okay. So they did still collect, and they make it sound like he collected less than the Kotaku article.
I think what happened was a lot was sold before 2000. Yes. In the 90s it was sold, and then 2000 started again. And then it sounded like
they stopped from 2010 to 2018.
Got the bug 4 years ago. So, okay. So it wasn't all in 4 years, but it sounds like there's something done to finish up in the past 4 years. I did not put a crazy amount. I estimated each piece of my collection, knowing that quite a few are new. Well, quite a few are new. Some are not found. I estimate at least 200, 300 pieces, which are absolutely not findable, even with the means. Okay, that's a bad translation.
Without the money is what he's saying.
Yes. Or
even if you had the money, you still might not be able to get this.
Like the APF MP1000 one in the box. They rarely come up for sale in the box. What if he has an imagination machine in the box? That box is like a shipping box. Doesn't matter. I think that with this sum, it would be impossible to collect this collection at the present time. Finding this shit, that's if you're talking, Ian, what do you say? Something like weird Xbox variants, original Xbox variants, and 360 variants, and like how many different Game Boy variants are there between all different Game Boys and DSs? And
so many.
Probably like a couple hundred. Probably when you get it all down to it, between all the different Game Boy variants, DS, 3DS, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Pocket.
Yeah, it's insane.
It's insane.
You can get in the weeds just on that shit.
And some are really hard to find.
Oh yeah, like all of the promotional ones that were not for sale.
Or even I have like a Tommy Hilfiger one. May not be.
That's
not hard to find.
Because that was for sale.
Sure. Okay.
I think you could go and buy that at Macy's or JCPenney's or something. That was one that actually existed on the market.
But you still have to check it off your list.
Sure. I'm just saying like that, like I'm talking about like the Japan airline ones that like, that sort of stuff where it was literally just a promotion.
There was an N64 that they promoted with an airline, for example.
Yeah.
It was an airline
That's what I was just talking about.
Oh, okay, sorry, I missed that one. You brought that up? Okay.
I just said JAL, the Japanese airline.
Okay. Sorry, I missed that. And there was another one I think put out for like a baseball team, for example. Like there's some weird ones like that you got to go look at. Now I'm gonna look up Tommy Hilfiger one. So I guess the next question comes is this: will you actually find a buyer for all this stuff? Like who would actually dish out this money?
Yeah, that's what you got to wonder. I don't know. You got to find someone who's crazy enough to just be like, click.
Someone rich,
Sure.
someone that has the space. I think it's funny that
How is it going to get transported? Do they say?
I have no clue how. I guess you'd have to do batch shipments.
Usually it says like, pickup only or whatever.
A box Tommy Hilfiger Game Boy. For some reason, I can't find them box. I can find them new for like $1,800. Why is there none box? It's going to be several $100s probably for that still. So that's the point. Like even these weird ones are going to cost money. I think I found mine at the swap meet, but I don't have a box for it. I got triggered by the fact that the shelves were those generic white shelves with the holes in the back that they're like the metal little things that come out. You know what I mean? The adjustable ones.
The adjustables.
That you can buy at Target. And when I used them, they fell under the weight when I had them at the condo. And when one fell, it dented my pristine Jaguar console box. It was pristine from the swap meet, and it put a dent in the top. So like those, you got to be careful. But if there's enough columns of the what do they call the column, the metal bars, the bars. If there's enough bars to put the brackets on, I guess it can sustain all that weight. Because these look like they're long shelves on this auction, right? There's a lot on these shelves. They go across for like 10 feet, it looks like, for some of these. I'm looking at all the NES variants, the action set, the challenge set, the newer ones with the red band on it. You have some European ones on here. It looks like there's the Hong Kong NES box right there, Ian, in black on the top there. This is impressive. All the, I think you said all the PC Engine variants on there, the shuttle, the PCFX, the cores, the CD-ROMs. There's the CD. Yeah. Can you find a buyer? And obviously at this cost, you're not buying this to resell it, because the time alone to do this would not be worth it. Even if this stuff was worth $500,000 more than this, we'll just say, and obviously shipping is going to cost a ton. This would not be worth your time to box, list, sell, list, get paid, box 2,200 consoles. That sounds like the worst possible hell to do that. And then dealing with possible returns or things. Oh, it got dinged, the box. It got damaged. It says shipping may not be available to the U.S. I think that'd be tough. You'd have to put that in a cargo container, I would think.
That would be insane.
You'd have to put that in a cargo container, I think, to ship this over on a truck. Palletize it. I mean, like, seriously, you'd have to box each one individually first,
right,
and protect it, and then put it on a pallet. I think.
Yeah,
I think that's how you do it. I don't know. I think it's interesting. That's the thing. We're not sure. We're usually good at knowing when this stuff is a bad deal. I have no clue.
I have no idea.
No idea.
No clue.